for the Doordash Revolution once again. Present to you today on this live stream. We got some things we want to talk about today. We got some things we want to talk about. And we're going to go ahead and I guess get right on to it. Before I do, I want to thank all the new subscribers for subscribing to the channel. We thank you very much and everything for that. And we're going to go ahead and talk about a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a little while. And we're going to go ahead and like I said, jump into it. Let me go ahead and let's see, can I pull it up? We want to talk about DoorDash driver still $2.5 million. It's an interesting topic. Turn it down a little bit, that air. Probably hear a lot of noise in the background. That's probably it. We're going to play a recording and we're going to do a commentary on it. And we want to know what people's opinion is, because I know this is not the first time it's been put on YouTube, this information. And I'm going to tie in a situation that I went through as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, and then we're going to go over with the news article and news channel that put out this article. Let's go ahead and hopefully you can hear the sound. Let's do that right now.
Steal more than $2.5 million by getting the company to pay for deliveries. San Francisco, AP. A former food delivery driver pleaded guilty to conspiring with others to steal more than $2 million from Doordash by getting the company to pay for deliveries that never occurred, federal prosecutors said. Sai Chaitanya Reddy Devagiri pleaded guilty Tuesday in federal court in San Jose to a single count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, his attorney's office said. Devagiri, 30, of Newport Beach, California, admitted to working with three others in 2020 and 2021 to defraud the San Francisco-based delivery company, federal prosecutors said. Prosecutors said Devagiri used customer accounts to place high-value orders and then used an employee's credential to gain access to Doordash software and manually reassign the orders to driver accounts that he and others controlled. He then caused the fraudulent driver accounts to report that the orders had been delivered when they had not, and manipulated Doordash's computer systems to pay the fraudulent driver accounts for the non-existent deliveries, officials said. Devagiri would then use Doordash software to change the orders from delivered status to in-process status and manually reassign the orders to driver accounts he and others controlled, beginning the process again, prosecutors said. Devagiri is the third defendant to be convicted of his role in this conspiracy. Two co-defendants previously pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, authorities said. Devagiri faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. He is scheduled to return to court on September 16th, 2025.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the article right now. When I first heard of this, I was like, wow. It blew my mind like landmines, first and foremost. And we're going to be going over this article right here. You heard the recording part of it. I'm going to get this article from Fortune News. It talked about a DoorDash driver said he helped steal more than $2.5 million by getting the company to pay for fake deliveries. Let that digest for a few minutes. Let it sink in. How is it even possible to be able to get behind a system like that was my question. I was like, wow, $2.5 million right? Getting the company to pay for fake deliveries. All right, we're gonna read into this a little bit because sooner or later it's gonna make a little sense to us. $2.5 million for deliveries that never occurred, the federal prosecutor said. Devagiri would then use the Doordash software to change the orders from delivery status to in process status and manually reassign the orders to driver accounts he and others control, beginning the process again. Wow. First, this driver had to have the accounts of customers, right? Then he had to have access some kind of way with Doordash software. My opinion is that it had to be somebody in-house. We get ready to find out about that in a few minutes. This was the question that occurred in my mind when I first heard the recording, read the article. I was like, there's no way possible that they could have got away with doing this except there was some inside help. That's my opinion. We get ready to read a little bit more into this article here. He was able to change the delivery status from the order being delivered to the order is in process status again. These were fake orders, fake accounts, multiple fake accounts out there, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple fake accounts. Devagiri would then use Doordash software to change the orders from deliver status to in process status, and was able to manually reassign these orders to driver's accounts that he and others had control. My opinion, they hacked into the system, right? Allegedly, we are being told this is what he did. My opinion to you was that it had to have been an inside job. They had to have some access to an employee on the inside, right? To pull this off. Come to find out that they somehow got an employee credentials to gain access to get in. So they was able to manually assess these orders, but they used an employee credential to be able to do this on multiple accounts, on several accounts. Wow, that's crazy. And then they recycled them back through the system again and again and again and again. It happened between 2020 and 2021. 3 of them were charged on single accounts. Devagiri supposed to spend 20 years on this account here. criminal charges of stealing $2.5 million. I remember 3 years ago in the past, we talked about there's dishonest people in the world, right? Dishonest drivers in the world having multiple Doordash accounts, right? Trying to game the system on, I'm going to make money juggling these orders on multiple apps. But this information that we're being told in the news, you can also check it out too on Fortune News. You probably can Google it up. You'll find it on a whole lot of sites. That this was taken to a whole new different level. You know, we got customer names. We're going to do fake orders. All right. Fake accounts. And we're going to manually change it, the order status from being delivered to back in process. There's more to the story than what's being told. So they got paid for it being delivered. Then they will recycle it that is in process or in progress. And they kept recycling it. These orders, from what I have understood, from what I have read, they was from high-end restaurants, higher paying type orders. These fake accounts were, these fake orders were. Wow. How did it take so long for them to get caught? Is my question. You know, with DoorDash doing all these changes to the Platinum Tier program and the acceptance rating and all these changes taking place. And certain drivers getting deactivated off the platform didn't deserve to get deactivated. But then you had people like this was able to get away without getting caught for 2 years or more. It blows my mind like landmines. That's my opinion. Okay. How did this group slip through the cracks? Somebody may say, well, D-Rev, they didn't slip through the cracks because now they done got caught. $2.5 million of orders out there, manipulating the Doordash software. This is just the tip of the iceberg. How many times this software been hacked into where drivers were able to manipulate it for their gain? They getting all the best orders and you wondering why you getting all the bad orders. This is my opinion. So many content creators talk about the low paying offers to no tip offers for longer distance. What's up, Major? How you doing today? Right? We've been talking about it for the longest. But somebody that was dishonest slipped through the cracks. These were fake accounts. These were fake orders. Fake orders being recycled again and again and again and again. Higher paying orders. Okay. There's drivers wondering why and trying to figure out how come you're getting all the lowball offers all the time. To be able to build your ratings up, to even start seeing some good orders. But you're getting all these bad orders all the time because somebody else out there is dishonest and they done figured out how to manipulate the system and gain access to where they making money and you're not. We talked about there was dishonest drivers out there. We talked about that it was dishonest merchants out there. We talked about that it's dishonest customers out there. (2020, 2021), right? It's just now catching up with them. How many other things been going on the platform we don't even know going on? They don't even know what's going on. And how many more dishonest people getting away with things, gaming the system, manipulating the system, taking money. It's my opinion. From drivers that's putting a lot of hours out here and trying to figure out why every time they turn the platform on, they getting bad orders, bad offers, reverse orders, $26 or $13. You can try to come up with a strategic plan on how you can even make money, not even talking about making a profit in some of these markets out here. Okay. And I'm saying hello to the live chat right now, so you won't think I'm just ignoring you. But I want people to think about this and put their thoughts on it, their spin on it, and your opinion on it. You know, I can tell you a situation that happened to me. You know, also, it was during the morning rush, breakfast time. Customer placed the order in on Grubhub. Picked the order up, took it to the hotel. Got in touch with them, asked for the PIN code, because you got to have a 2-digit PIN code, because that's what they selected. And I was going to do a video about it a week before this situation happened. Didn't get a chance to because of the Memphis of May festivities and a lot of the food reviews that I was doing. And a lot of the businesses and business owners and pit masters I was engaging with on future videos and episodes. So I got sidetracked, didn't get a chance to put that information out. We'll be talking about it right now. Go right ahead and I pull up. I'm looking at the address. The pin is where it's supposed to be on my driver app. I'm looking at it like this here. Okay, that's it. The address. I'm looking at the building. That's it. Room number. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and reach out. Let the customer know I need that 2-digit PIN. I'm going inside. Customer can see everything that we're doing on the app. Going on the inside. Get on the elevator. What's up, TFT? What's going on? All right. So as we are saying once again, Go up the elevator, right? Go up the elevator. You know, go up the elevator. Go to room 000, and pass 2 housekeepers. Put the order down. Gave me the pin code. Put the pin code in. Completed the delivery. Go back down to the vehicle. I get another order. An add-on top of the order I just received. Another order, then the add-on on that order. I'm getting ready to go get this order here. A mile away from the hotel, the customer gets in contact with me. Are you outside? Or are you in the parking lot? What's up, Howard? How's everything going? So I'm there. As you can see and as you can tell, I'm like, I just pulled away a mile ago. I said, I already dropped the order off at your room, 000. No, the food's not there. And I was like, okay. I'm not working today anyway. So I didn't work yesterday either. I probably work 2 hours tomorrow. And then I'm going to hit it hard this weekend. For inquiring minds that want to know. So after this, I replied back that I dropped the order off and all of that. Isn't this their address? Isn't this the room number? Isn't this the hotel? That's what I asked them, right? They come back, the customer said, well, I apologize, right? I apologize because that's the wrong hotel. So, okay. Went ahead and I reached out to Grubhub driver care specialist. Let them know what was going on. And they documented everything and all of that. I didn't hear nothing else about it. But I was going to do that particular video before I found out about that information right here. A Doordash driver stealing $2.5 million. Fake deliveries. Recycle them through the system so they can make that money. $200, $300, $400 a day. It took them 2 years before they finally caught up with them. That's my opinion, 2 years. Okay. Now, it makes me wonder about my situation. But I didn't hear anything back. I reported it and everything. But how many times drivers, the question I wanted to ask is, this customer was an honest customer, not a dishonest one. They was transparent. They could have simply not admit that they ordered at the wrong restaurant. How many times did you get an order and the customer said they didn't receive the order and they meant to order it where they actually are, but they had you go to a different address? They never did change it in the app. How many drivers got deactivated because of it? is my question. Next thing you know, you deactivate contract relations because somebody made a mistake and wasn't honest enough to admit that they made a mistake. This is so many different scenarios that can go on these platforms: Grubhub, UberEats, Doordash, Walmart, Spark, etc. and etc. We have dishonest people in the world. Everybody's not dishonest, but we have dishonest people in the world. Okay. Okay. My robo took care of that. Now, it's something to consider. There's a lot of things that we don't know that goes on in the business that we do that affects the way we make our money. Okay. And we may never know what the situation is behind the cause of why we're not making that money. This is a situation that caused a lot of other drivers not to make money. Dishonest people, that's thirsty, that's greedy, that feel like they deserve to make this type of money and you don't. But you work hard, put 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours in. Appreciate that major. There have been times I done put 16 hours in back in the day. There was times when I was in OB, everybody running circles around me. I'm looking around. I'm seeing people get the best orders. I'm sitting there. That's when I first started in the business of Doordash. Top dash and everything, perfect ratings and all of this. I said, something wrong with this picture here. I'm getting every bad order that's dropping out of their bucket. Something not right with that picture. It took a little time for me to catch on. A lot of drivers was asking me, was our top dash? I had about 20 to 30 of them ask me this. I didn't catch on right then. It took a little bit longer for me. They were declining orders. Okay. They wasn't just declining low-paying offers. They wasn't just declining low-ball offers. They would find out what your dollar amount was to make it that would get you to get the order so you can leave the parking lot. Yes, there's many hidden secrets there. And it takes experience, time in them streets before you find out about a lot of them too. And I'm like, wow. And congratulations on the bangers you've been getting on Doordash. You deserve them. You done put in a whole lot of work to finally start getting some of them orders now that you should have been getting all the time. Congratulations on that. They changing things now, these platforms and everything, where the acceptance rating do matter. And, a lot of other things going on, but it's our decision making. You're welcome. No matter how the market is, what type of orders coming, you still got to make a decision on your historical data of all of this stuff going on in your demographics. And you got to make a decision how you're going to make it work for you. You may have to change your fishing spots that you fish at because everybody else gravitated there. You may have to use different platforms that lead you to making that kind of money. You may have to take certain average orders to get to those big orders. When I used to fish back in the days, we used to use brim to catch the bigger fish. Okay? And sometimes we had to treat this with a fisherman's mentality. Even sometimes your favorite fishing spots are days the fish don't bite, or is oversaturated with other people fishing in that same pond. So we got to understand our historical data. We got to understand how we choose and select orders, how we need to change the rhythm of how we choose these orders, select these orders, change it up a little bit, cause the AI on a lot of these platforms know your pattern better than you do. Okay. So with Grubhub, Howard asked a question about Grubhub, how Grubhub going. It's going good for me when I'm out there. It's a secret to making a profit on Grubhub. It's slower than the other two, most definitely. But I know how to manage and make my money. The thing about it is, I just told you part of how I do it. Decision making is number one. Key factor. We are in a super saturated market. In my market, you see, and I got videos out there that will help you, but you got to put in more work, because the way you select orders may not be the way I select orders. The way you make your decision might not be the way I make mine. Hulk Smash can probably testify on what I'm getting ready to say, because he was the guy that was on the other end of the phone when I talk through my orders. Even by myself, I talk through my orders. I think out loud. I was like, okay, this order is 6 miles, 575. I know I can shave at least 1.5 miles because I don't have to go on the E-way. Plus, I was going in that area to do my shopping anyway. So I might as well make money on the way there. I can shave 1.5 miles off of it, which would have made it 4.5 for the $5.75. I know it's about to get hot over there right now. Experience teach you these things that you have to learn the hard way when you make wrong decisions on making money. Okay? So sure enough, as soon as I get over there, bam, 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 wind up making $25 to $28 within that 1 hour. Huck said, wait a minute. How was you able to, with your situation, and I'm not telling everybody to take reverse orders. This is not what this video is about. I wouldn't encourage drivers to take reverse orders. I have those orders, $13, 26 miles. I got caught up twice. I'll never get caught up again. I don't tell drivers to take those kind of orders. Why would you take that kind of order? Putting yourself out of position to not make money. I would never encourage that. But I knew in my situation, in my market, I know the demographics of the timing and momentum of orders coming in. I knew I could shave 1.5 miles by not going on the E-way and take a scenic route or alternating route. It's still a $6 for 575. It was $4. 4 miles, 4.5 miles for that same 675. Okay. Winner right there, right? Then I was there on time once the block turned red. I was getting orders. Made that quick 25, 27 in 1 hour because of the decision that I made. I turned a reverse order into a profit. There are times you can do that. There are times you cannot. There are times that these orders, everybody's declining them now. You get hit with it on a staggered stack order. And they usually come when you're in the middle of the traffic. You don't have time to really look at your phone real good to do a good survey. You go ahead and hit that button anyway. Then later to find out you got. There's times and how to know how to maneuver and navigate around that situation too. The more you start doing it, the more you start learning your zones in your marketplace, learning the zip codes in your marketplace. Grubhub, understanding the color code indexing that you see on that map. When that thing flash, that hot box flash, you need to be able to comprehend, do I need to go over there? Or do I stay away from over there? Okay, experience to tell the story, you have to learn it through experience. But you got to constantly comprehend, analyze, evaluate, and make a decision. Decision is the number one factor on you making money or making a profit. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I build a garage right there. I tell the owner, I'll charge you $10,000 to build a garage. Check it out there. I can have that garage finished in 3 weeks, which means I made a profit. But if it take me 3 years to build that garage with that same $10,000, did I make a profit or did I lose money? Somebody's light bulb should be coming on in their room right now on that analogy. So you got to be a student of the game and you got to be able to study what's going on. And then you got to still make a decision. You're going to make some bad decisions. You're going to make some good ones. But the more you start doing it, you're going to learn to make better decisions and less mistakes. The season changes too, ladies and gentlemen. So do people's appetite on what type of foods they eat during the season. Veteran drivers already know this here. I'm not saying nothing new. This is not even a secret. You're supposed to already know this here. Even your habits when seasons change, you eat different. Think about it on that note. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to share. I've been doing food reviews. All right. So I got a new audience there. I thank all of the subscribers that watch this channel. And all of those that's been putting a whole lot of digesting and consuming our content on our food reviews. And those that still watch some of my Grubhub videos and Doordash videos. We thank you for that. I want to be able to have information that has some kind of value for you. Before I go into the Memphis and May Festival, the winners of who was the grand champion and who won first place in 3 categories, before I go there with it, I want to talk about better business etiquette, quality customer service, great professionalism, excellent communication, or excellent professionalism, great communication. I've been working on a project because Grubhub is a challenge. I got a lot of challenges I got to face with Grubhub. So do you drivers that does any of these apps. We got challenges every day we gotta overcome. Decision making is the key. But if you don't have the right knowledge that you need, you won't be able to make the right decision on information that's presented before you on these apps. Yes, I'm going down in Memphis here, as usual. They're right there. I'm in an area where it's pretty hot over here. It gets real hot with that type of activity. So back to what I'm getting ready to say. Important. There was a restaurant when I started doing my Grubhub videos full time. That restaurant was one of the worst restaurants on my Grubhub list on getting job offers and assignments. It presented a problem for me. I wasn't making money going to that restaurant. When I go there, people canceling their orders. Okay, we don't get paid like Doordash paid if that order get canceled on. I miss them days. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to blacklist this restaurant. I'm not making any money here. I'm waiting an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then people canceling their orders. I'm not getting paid. Until the light bulb kicked on one day. I did a video. We did these videos as well. We did these videos. On that restaurant. Things started changing. I started getting more and more offers, right? And when I got more and more offers, I was going in and out. The food was already ready. I was like, things beginning to change. Maybe I need to scratch it off my blacklist and start back working with this merchant, to where it was getting better and better and better. They had some good customers and good repeated clients. I started getting them clients, right? I would get in touch with the restaurant before I got there. I said, I'm gonna have to do what I used to do back in the day with Grubhub. Make that phone call, let them know I'm the driver, I'm on my way. I got to start back doing this again. And when I did that, you see, I was like, wow. Started making not just money, but making a profit. Now, to make this long story short, because we're about at the end of the story, but we're not end of the live yet. I get an add-on. And I drop this order off. I get a lot of add-ons on Grubhub. I get a lot of triple stack and quadruple stack orders on Grubhub. I know how to make it work. Once I had the information I needed, I started making the right decisions. So someone asked me in the live chat, how is Grubhub these days? I just gave you that answer right there. I still get my triple and quadruple stack orders. So when you get triple and quadruple stack orders, your money is going up and going up, getting higher and higher for that hour. Okay, so I answered that question. So I get this order before dropping off. I get the add-on before dropping off the order I'm previously working on. As soon as I drop that order off, I get a call from the Grubhub merchant. Very first time I got a call from the merchant on any platform. I've been doing this work almost 8 years. Started with Lyft to where I am now doing things. This is the very first time I had a merchant call me. Nearly on all of them different apps I done told people, I done had a whole lot of job assignments. Closing in on 40,000 or even more. By that time, you're supposed to learn some things, right? Back to the customer, which is the merchant. Merchant called me. Okay. And when the merchant called me, they said, how you doing today? This is CP. And the customer ordered today's special. We ran out of today's special, and we tried to get in touch with them. They're not answering their phone. If you're able to get in touch with them, have them call us. I said, no problem. We definitely do that. I appreciate you letting me know this on my way to your establishment. Got in touch with the customer. Called, they didn't answer. Left a text message. No, left a text message first. They didn't respond. Called and left a message. An urgent message. It went a good hot 2 minutes. The customer got in touch with me and said, I appreciate you getting in touch with me. What is the nature of the order? I said, they done ran out of your lasagna special. Lasagna is one of my favorites. Okay. What you can do is go ahead and call them so you can have a substitute menu if you still want to order from them. Customer thanked me. They went ahead and called the restaurant. I'm still on my way there. So I said, I know that order not quite ready, not going to be quite ready when I get there. I'm going to sit outside at least 10 minutes, then I'm going to walk in. And I was right. And when I walked in, it was ready. So I talked to the merchant. Just did a recent video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, doing a food review. I did a food review at this restaurant. People say that it can't be done in this community. Do food reviews and delivery driving will not fit together in our niche. I beg to differ. I just did a video of a Grubhub driver eating at a Grubhub merchant where my clients order from. Customers saw that video. Merchants saw that video. A place where I wasn't making money to started making a profit. Just because I thought outside the box with my decision making. Decision making. I could have left that particular restaurant on the blacklist. I did something different with the decision that I made. I was told you can't do food reviews and do gig work and make it work. It worked for me. To where now I have a repeated merchant for business, and I have repeated clients that order from their business, and the clients and the merchants saw me eat at their establishment, and I did a food review. Yeah, I know that blew minds like landmines. Okay. Customers are more comfortable with a driver knowing that the driver orders and eats at the same establishment they eat at. No, you can't do every restaurant that way. I wouldn't suggest you do every restaurant that way. Only a few of them that you're not making money. You'd be amazed of the golden opportunities you may have. I see a Grubhub driver in this market very often, and he must have figured it out. He probably have. He probably have, Major. He probably have. It might be a premier driver. That premier driver thing is real tough to hold on to. Real tough to hold on to. And they'll try to put you in a situation and getting real bad orders to try to maintain that premier. But you got to figure out what works for you on pro status or premier status. You see, you may have to do it several times before you can be able to make the right decision. I guarantee you're going to gather some information. You're going to have some historical data. It's going to put you in better positions of making better decisions so you can maximize your earnings. You know, it's hard in my market to maintain it. Another driver, it might not be hard for them, but it's very challenging for me. I know I've had that status at least between 7 and 10 times. And you got other drivers out here, so you're not out here by yourself. Okay? That driver might not want that order. And that order come to you, you don't want that order. You know, so it fluctuates up and down this status. But there's a sweet spot in between there where you can not just make money, but start making a profit. And if you're multi and you make the right decision, you know when they get on a platform and when they get off a platform and go to another platform. Our problem is when we are beginners, we stay on a platform too long. Or if we single apping on one app, we own that app too long. Is a reason you need to take a break, to break the rhythm and the pattern that you make your money. You got to balance certain things out. When you know it's slow and you're not making any money, you need to leave. Go on another app if possible. It may be a day, man, I can't even make no money at all. You need to leave what you're still out there for. Okay? I had to learn it the hard way. All right, let's get ready and talk about. If I can pull it up, I want to talk about the Memphis in May festival that we had here. I met some interesting business owners. Few of them were Grubhub merchants. Others are not Grubhub merchants. Don't even have it on the platform at all, or any of the third-party apps. Okay. Met some good people. I met some good people. Let me see, can I pull up some information? All right, let me go here. Okay. What I want to do is talk about, I was there, but I wasn't able to film stuff like I needed to film due to the lack of equipment. But we did get a chance to get in touch with award-winning pit master chef and did a moment-to-moment interview with him. Did a promotion deal with him, not only on my channel, but his as well. I also got a second channel out there too. I'm taking my time with it. I got big plans what we're going to do with that channel. Okay. So, we've been hearing a lot about this restaurant on Texas style barbecue. So I'm going to go there and see what it's about. It's been a long time since I had some Texas style barbecue. And if it's not what it's supposed to be, they're going to know about it. Last time I had some Texas barbecue, ladies and gentlemen, was when I was in the Navy. That's right, brother, breaking the pattern. You got to break the pattern. That's just like you go home every day. You don't know who watching you. You take the same route to your house every day. You leave at the same time every day. You come back at the same time every day. Somebody watching you know your pattern better than you. You got to change things up. You got to mix it up. Old folks used to tell me back in the day, you got to mix it up. You got to mix up the ingredients in the pot. Sometimes you got to mix your recipe up too. Take certain ingredients out that you used to put in it and put some different ingredients in the pots. Mix it up in the pot. You got to change it up sometimes. And you got to do the same thing with a lot of things in life. That's right, Major. I agree with you on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, commercial appeal, put it off in the news here about this Memphis in May. We're going to talk about the grand champion. We're going to talk about the whole hog category, shoulder category, ribs category, back to the Texas style barbecue. The Texas style barbecue, I went there, I said, okay, if they not anything like I tasted 30 years ago when the captain had a billionaire friend on his Texas ranch, it hold 3,000 sailors. We was invited there. Some of the best barbecue I ever ate in my life. Okay. Bain barbecue, check it out on the short. It should be closing in somewhere between 9.5 views. We get the sandwich. It's called the Big Bubble. Brisket, jalapeno coleslaw, pulled pork, 2 layers of smoked sausage. We're not talking about the kind that's mixed with chicken, beef, and turkey. Truly beef. So I hold this smorgasbord of a sandwich up. Some people call it a dagwood. Now, when I do my food reviews, I do a smash mouth style. I don't have too big of hands. Some people think I got big hands. They're not big as you think they are. Okay, so a bigger sandwich, I would turn it upside down. And I would eat it that way. It's more manageable for me than just doing it like that. So we eat the sandwich. And people are like, okay, man, wow. And thank all the people that watched that video. And right now it's still rising. I learned something from that experience. I'm going to go back to that Texas style place. Barbecue. Memphis is Memphis style barbecue. There's a difference in the two different styles of barbecue. I may do an episode talking about the 4 originals down the road on barbecue. Very interesting article I probably come up with. And I got a whole lot of ideas I'm not going to discuss here. But it was a very good experience that we had. We enjoyed that sandwich and everything. And I'm going back. There's something else I want to share with our viewers. So who knows what I may do. I used to cook back in the day as well. I might do some things, you might be interested in. Drivers, customers, food junkies, as they call it, food connoisseurs, food critics, you might find interesting to see. All right, so with that being said, we're getting ready to go to this Memphis in May. Information here. I saw some heavyweight players there, super heavyweight players in the barbecuing department that does Memphis style barbecue. Heavyweights, super heavyweights. And I met 3. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the whole hog category. We're going to talk about the ribs category. Whole hog category. Number 1 was Will BQ. Number 2 was Blues Hog. Number 3 was Southern Hog. And Hometown Barbecue. I'm just going to name the top 5. Picking and grilling barbecue in the whole hog category. It was so many different categories. It'll blow your mind like landmines. You had 150 teams there at the Memphis in May. Plus, we also had the Smoke Slam BBQ. We're not going to discuss the Smoke Slam BBQ. It was something serious too. I was all down there, dropping off deliveries and all of that. All right, we're going to talk about the grand champion of the Memphis in May in 2025. Is also the grand champion of South Haven Fest Barbecue Festival. Heath Riles, and people know who he is. He won grand champion, him and his team, and first place in the South Haven Festival, and won grand champion in first place in ribs in Memphis in May. Shoulder category. Big Bob Gibson. Team Water Dog. Schultz and Skins. Ridiculous BBQ Crew. And Smoke BBQ Team. All right. First place in the rib category. Heath Wiles, BBQ. The Swanos, Slab A Smoking, Auto B Grilling, and Killer Grillers. All right. Like I said, I've met a lot of interesting people, learned a lot of things, got a lot of bright new ideas doing content. All right, let me see what the comment section is saying right now. I want to address the comment section. I'm quite sure some people in here going to have some positive and negative things to say. I need money. Said hi. I need money. Hi, hi, hi. Okay. I can't pronounce that name. Major in the house. I think I know who this is. Said yo. Okay. TFT said, why verticalized can't play in the background? It's another reason I don't like this format. Well, a lot of content creators are going to play live verticals. Shorts are live. Shorts is in vertical position, and YouTube Live right now is in vertical position. I'm gonna be doing both. I'm gonna be doing live verticals, and I'm gonna be doing StreamYard at my discretion. You know, that's the way it's gonna be. I'm gonna do both. All right. Good morning, Grubhub is looking for you right now. I hear you, Howard. I hear you. They're gonna have to find another driver today. Taking a break. Like I said, I've been very, very, very busy. Doing my content that I told everybody I was gonna be busy doing May. There was a lot of people phone calls I did not answer. You know, because I was already preoccupied with doing content. And I didn't want to be interrupted on that. I didn't want to miss those great moments. All right. But I got a chance to get back in touch with those that did reach out. All right, Major said absolutely correct. Many hidden secrets overall. Thanks. Yeah, he's doing real good in his market. We got somebody here. All right. I'm trying to look at it. Okay, no, we're not gonna hide the comment, nor are we gonna pin it. But it's amazing how people do what they do. You know, so I see the comment. I understand what it says. And there will be a given time when that be done. That's how I'm gonna explain that one. Didn't ignore it, not offended by it, but we have a direction to when God tells us to do something. That's when we do it. Then, if people request, we still have to go to Him in prayer. And then, if He said go do, we go do. All right. I see a Grubhub driver in this market very often. He must have figured it out. Yeah. If you see him a whole lot, and if you're not on Grubhub, if you're still here, Major, if you're not on Grubhub and you're doing UberEats or Doordash and you see that Grubhub driver a whole lot and you on them two apps, that driver have figured it out. You know, he have figured it out. Now, if you happen to be multi-app and you're doing Grubhub and you see him on Grubhub drivers is kind of, in my market, it's kind of hard to run into each other. Very hard to run into each other. That's the reason why I know it's a possibility that you've been seeing him while you're doing Doordash and UberEats. It's tough to run into Grubhub drivers if you just on Grubhub only. Because the orders in my market, they're already ready. And when they're already ready, you're not going to run into that driver. There's a lot of Doordash drivers and UberEats drivers don't see me when I'm doing Grubhub. Because orders at a particular moment of time and season, I'm in and out of there. If I'm in and out of there, they're not going to see me. It may be before they get there, or it may be after they done left. And the only order is there is just Grubhub. And that's the experience I've been having in my market. It was once upon a time, it was like over 90% of my orders was already ready. Then the beginning of this year, it looked like it took a nosedive. It went in the opposite direction. So different seasons play a very strong effect on your demographics on how you make money. The difference between making money and making a profit. If you're not making money, you're not going to be able to make a profit. That's just common sense. All right, let's see what else we got here. That's very true. Breaking the pattern, yes. I wanted to share that information. I didn't quite get into it the way I wanted to, because you might as well say that's week old material. And usually if you don't jump on material right then and there, and if you didn't write it down, it's not going to come out the same way when it first came to you fresh. Okay, so, here we are right now. Just got a Grubhub signal. We getting ready to have that storm come through, or they think one coming through. New mission coming up at 1 p.m. today. Earn an extra $18 or more for 6 orders without skipping more than 3. All right, let's talk about this here. Couldn't have been a perfect time for them to give me opportunity to talk about some Grubhub moments and how you make your decision on when you see these missions. What's happening right now? I'm not the only driver got that notification. We got multi-appers out here. Everybody in Memphis multi-app. Okay, at least 98% of us. Guess what's getting ready to happen? Everybody turning all the apps on. They might not have Grub on it first. They got it on now. Guess what's getting ready to happen? Howard in this area, he's going to be quiet as a mouse. He's not finna say nothing else. Once he got the information he thought he needed, he's not finna communicate nothing else on here. Prove if he's still here, prove me wrong. He's a Grub. He got Grubhub too. So do a few others that I know. But I told him I'm not working today. Now, let's talk about missions since it popped up on the screen just then. $18. Let's read it again. Make sure I didn't make a mistake in reading it. Grubhub for drivers. New mission coming up at 1 p.m. today. Earn an extra $18 or more by delivering 6 orders without skipping 3. I'm giving you time to think for yourself right now. How you get ready to maximize your earnings? How you get ready to maximize your earnings? Get ready to smash out Grubhub right now. So I can't turn my app on because it'll turn me off on the live stream. I can kind of tell you right now, if I were to make a decision right now, I already know what area I would be in. If I got this notice right now, it depends if I'm already on a scheduled block or not. If I'm already on a scheduled block, I already know where I'm getting ready to be. I guarantee you, if I know if the fish biting, I'm not going to be sitting up there trying to get my tackle box together. knowing the fish not gonna bite long. If I'm scrambling trying to get my tackle box together, I'm already late to going to that fishing spot. So, with what I already know for in this market, doing when it get ready to rain, we having storms, 6 orders, 3 without skipping. Okay, there's gonna be some drivers declining orders. So you got some pro drivers not on schedule. You got some pro drivers on schedule. You got some premier drivers, very few that's not on schedule. You're gonna have premier drivers on schedule. So this is a trivia question right here. Grubhub trivia question. I bet you won't know one answer on here. Prove me wrong and answer it. Which one of them drivers going to be able to complete their missions, make that $18 off of 6 orders? Number 1 question. Number 2 question, how long is it going to take them to do them six orders? It usually is a 2-hour time slot there. Okay. Sometimes you can't get no more than 2 orders in 1 hour. There's a time you may get all 6 orders in 1 hour. Okay, so how successful have you been? If you've been on the Grubhub platform and you've done Grubhub missions pay, there's anywhere from $18 to $40 for 6 orders or 8 orders. Were you able to meet that challenge? I guarantee you won't know one answer to that question right now. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I know the answer. I already told part of the answer already. But if you done did this as a multi-opper, you jumped on and said, man, I'm getting ready to smash this bad boy. Make that $18, make that $40, make that $30. You need 6 orders in 2 hours. How many of you have succeeded in every time that it drops that you meet that challenge? Put it in the live chat right now. Put it in the live chat. Because if you're not in the right area, if you're not in the right position, at the right location, and if you didn't make the right decision, I guarantee you're not going to get it. I guarantee that. Somebody prove me wrong, put it in the live chat right there. I know what I'm talking about. You're not going to get it. You're not going to maximize on it. All of them things I just said got to line up together. Like dot to dot, dot to dot. It's got to line up together. You can't have a customer not responding to your phone call or text message. You can't have a customer not responding when you need that delivery, 2-digit delivery code. All right. You can't get that long distance, long mile order unless it's a certain amount. And if it is a certain amount, you're not going to make that challenge. I guarantee it. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there and done it. I know. So it's hot out there. So I'm going to let them enjoy their day. Because I got other things that I'm doing. I got an appointment here. And I got to wait here. I'm not finna get out there and get started and then got to run back here. Nah, I'm just going to stay put. I'll do my 2 hours tomorrow. Make $50 or $60 and go home in 2 hours. How is you so sure you're going to make it? That kind of money. 1, I'm going to be on block. Number 2, my stats are right. Number 3, I know where to go. Number 4, I'm gonna make the right decision. I just gave people the answers, but you got to be able to put them together for yourself. See, orders I may take, you may not take. I done learned something by making some mistakes. You may turn around and get that first order. It look good, the money look good. You're like, man, I got this order here. Boom, I got a bundle order right here. Boom, I got an add-on. I only need 3 more. And I'm not even 30 minutes in. Until one of them orders hold you up, then it's a problem. So the more you do this thing, the more experience that you have under your belt, the more mistakes you done made, you learn from the mistakes. The more you pay attention to patterns, you learn you got to break your pattern. There are certain areas you can't go thinking you're gonna make that, gonna get that mission. You got 50 drivers rushing over to Germantown right now. Juggling the apps. You got some stacking the apps. Those that stack the apps know how to make their money, make profit. Those that juggling is what it is, they juggling. And if you juggle too much, you're gonna fumble the ball. I guarantee that too. I'm multi-app also. The reason why I can tell you so well. Now, if everybody trying to smash out an area where they think where the big money at, you're not gonna make that challenge. I guarantee that. One content creator, I was looking at them today, but they did the video probably a few days ago, talked about acceptance rate on a certain app and how majority of the orders are lowball orders. If you still got decline now in your vein, and some habits are hard to break, old habits are hard to break now, and they done change the tier program on UberEats. You still trying to run that same format you've been running for the last 3 years, you might be in for a rude awakening. If the apps change, you need to change. If the apps change, you need to learn and comprehend what's going on these apps and get the right information by looking at your historical data, okay? Your historical data, and make the right decisions. A lot of information in your historical data you're not even aware of because you don't look at your own historical data. There's a lot of drivers out here don't look at their own historical data. So how is you going to make the right decision to maximize your earnings and make a profit if you don't look at your own historical data? Okay. You're not using the UberEats customer app for a resource to get that information. You never been an UberEats customer. You never ate at a few of the restaurants your clients shop at. So how are you going to make the right decision to make a profit, to maximize your earnings to make a profit? You ain't got to answer me on here. Answer yourself right here, in here, because I know what I'm talking about. You see, so decision making is the key factor in everybody's market. No matter how different your market is from mine, you got to make the right decision so you can not just make money, but you want to make a profit in your marketplace. Stoplight versus stop sign, E-way versus alternative route. You got to make them decisions. Which restaurant not to get your orders from when you got these surge pays, bonus pays, incentive pays, peak pays, mission pay. I'm an OG driver giving you the OG truth. You're not going to get it right every time. Don't any driver get it right every time. So don't fool yourself thinking they don't never make these mistakes. They just don't show you their mistakes, okay? Then you gravitate to them channels, don't have the full information. Then you're out here lost, wondering why you can't make your money because you're not making the right decisions. Only you is responsible for making the decision to make money and make a profit. There's nobody else responsibility but yours. How do you make it work for yourself? You see, it's good to get information from people. Separate what's good for you and what's not good. Utilize what works for you, that the information they gave you that had value. Add it to your, just as simple as this. So I enjoy having this time. It's been a while since I've been on live stream. Wanted to share something with viewers. You see, want to share something with drivers. Want to share something with my clients. Want to share something with the merchants out there. Want to share something with the business owners that I do business with. Share something with the food review that I do in the areas that I shop at and make money. That's what I'm doing. You see, so with that information, I'm learning even more about some things I didn't know before. Because I didn't step my game up, my level up. I'm going to have to let y'all go and everything because somebody looking crazy. So what I'm going to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back with you in the next episode. And we're going to give you more information that'll help you make money. Peace and take care. We see you in the next video.